This is part 2 of the concept review video for week 1. So in part 1 we covered off looking at parts of speech identification, so we can check that one off from our list here. Also, we did a basic look at sentence identification. So we're going to, very quickly now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the different types of work that we're doing in class. So this is the difference between practice assignments and homework assignments. Now, sometimes I will post a document, and when we're dealing with a new concept like writing sentences or sentences level 1, level 2, if it's called a practice assignment, it's just a document that is there to help you practice the new concepts. So you can do the work, you can submit it, I'll give you feedback, but it won't be part of your mark book. Now I'm keeping track of all of your marks on VIU Learns, and at the start of week 2, I will open up the ability for students to view all of their marks on your own VIU page. So it's important for you to know which assignments or which pieces of work count towards your mark and which don't. So as a rule of thumb, practice assignments are just for practice. They don't count for marks. Homework assignments, on the other hand, are going to be more important. So we give you a chance to practice, and then we check to see that you're learning the concepts through the homework assignments and packets. Today, if you look at Module 1A, Day 4, I've uploaded the first kind of homework packet. That's for all of the concepts we've learned this week so far, and this one will be counted towards your grade. So there's two types of homework assignments that can be counted. The first one is called pure credit, and what that means is I will accept your work, I'll look at it, I'll give you feedback, but you get 100% just for submitting it. So you get, it's usually, those are worth 1%, they'll be out of 1 point, and you get 1 point for submitting it. Now the second type of homework is what we call deductive homework assignments. And basically what that means is, as I'm working my way through your answers, if there are any kind of small errors with your writing or your sentences or your any of your concepts, I will deduct points for the mistakes. And usually a quarter point comes off. Sometimes if you're making the same mistake over and over again, I'll bump up the value and a half point will come off. Or for some of the more serious mistakes, you can even lose up to a full point. So usually these deductive assignments, they'll be out of 10 points, but still each of the deductive assignments will be worth 1% of your grade. Now remember, from looking at the syllabus, from doing our syllabus hunt, you'll remember that homework is worth 20% of your final grade. So these are the two types of homework assignments that I'll be taking in. Pure credit, if you do it, you get 100%, or deductive. I'll take points off for mistakes, and then you'll get whatever you end up with at the end of the marking. So we can kind of check this one off now. We've talked about this one. So the next thing I want to do is I want to look at our sentence types, our main 4 level 1 sentence types that we've learned this week. So let's jump right into it. So simple sentences. Now again, the main thing here is that simple sentences have one main idea. So that means one clause. Okay, now clauses are always made up of 2 main pieces. What are they? That's right, we need subject and predicate to make a complete idea, to make a complete sentence, to make a complete clause. So we can put in subject noun plus verb. Now what else might be part of a simple sentence? We might also have an object noun in there, and then the final thing that we can include is a prepositional phrase. Now always at the end of the sentence we add a period. So let's take a look at the example here. Okay, and I'm just going to differentiate here. So the jolly dog jogged in the forest. So we've got the subject, which is correct, is the dog. And then what's the main verb here? Good, jogged, and it's in the past tense. We can tell by the ed ending. We'll be looking at verb tenses at the beginning of next week. And then what's this final element that we have here, this final chunk of language? Good, it's a prepositional phrase. It's telling us more about location. One main idea, one clause, one subject, one verb. Okay, compound sentences have two main ideas, which means it's equal to two clauses. Now let's write our formula down here. C1 fanboys, C2 period. And if we need a reminder, the fanboys elements for and nor, but, or, yet, so. So you should start to memorize these tools. So let's take a look here. So we've already kind of got our elements. Now these 7 are called coordinating conjunctions, and coordination means you're joining two equally important things together, two equally important words, phrases, or clauses. So in this case, when we're looking at compound sentences, it is two equally important clauses that are being joined together. So we can look at our example, make an example sentence down here. Okay, so when you're looking and trying to identify the sentence type, you should always be looking for things like how many subjects are there? Here's a subject in clause 1, there's our verb in clause 1. Here's a second subject, here's a second verb. And also notice that we've got this linking element, or this coordinating element in the middle of the sentence. And whenever you see comma, but, and then you have another proper noun, another subject starting the next piece of information or language, we know right away, okay, there are two clauses here, two main ideas here, joined by fanboys. Aha, we have a compound sentence. Now, the complex sentences are trickier. Now, what I've noticed over the last several semesters of teaching is these two are the ones that give students in the 037 level the most difficulty. So these are the ones that you should focus on. So let's remember the difference between our complex sentences and our compound sentences is the type of linking tool that we're using, the type of conjunction that we're using. So as we already kind of highlighted, coordinating conjunctions are used to join equal ideas together, and that's why we call those sentences compound. However, subordinating conjunctions are different. They're used when you want to tell the reader one idea is more important than the other idea. And so this is what that whole word subordinating means. Subordinate means underneath or below or secondary. So when we start a clause with a subordinate conjunction, we're immediately telling the reader that that clause is the less important idea. And this is the key point of complex sentences. There will be one main idea and one secondary idea. The secondary idea is always started by the subordinate conjunction. Now, complex A, the reason I call this sentence complex A is because this formula, or this version of the complex sentence, is the more common one. We see it more frequently. So the formula. So we know there's going to be two clauses, just like in the compound sentence. However, they're a touch different because of the fact that we have this subordinating conjunction. So in this example, clause 1 would be the less important idea because it is started by the subordinate conjunction. Now down below, we'll write the formula for complex B. Now you should notice two differences here. First of all, subordinate conjunction comes in the middle, therefore it is the linking tool here. So we don't need a comma. I'll say that again, no comma in complex B, that's key. Now the other thing is we've switched the order. So now C1 is the main idea and C2 will be the secondary idea because C2 is started by the subordinate conjunction. So let's take a look at a couple of examples here. Good. Since it was Thursday, comma, students were looking forward to their weekend. Now, this is the less important idea. How do I know? It started by the subordinate conjunction. And we could just go ahead and take the exact same sentence and flip the order. So I've chosen a different subordinate conjunction here, but the effect is more or less the same. And there you go. So this is just a quick review of our 4 basic sentence types, and kind of the formulas are really important. We're going to have to get used to these formulas, and we're going to have to start memorizing things like the list of fanboys. Now remember, I've also added a big list of subordinate conjunctions under week 1, day 3, or module 1A, day 3. I've put up a list of 50 subordinate conjunctions, so you should start getting comfortable practicing your sentence types using as many of the different varieties of these coordinating and subordinating conjunctions, because when we do our learning checks, I might even give you the formula. I might say write a compound sentence, and then I say use yet or use so. I might say write complex A using although. And so you have to get used to being skilled at using any of the different subordinating or coordinating conjunctions. Okay, that's part 2 of the video. We've closed off most of the topics here. You can see there's some other things that we also covered this week, things like our first 2 readings and the Cornell notes, but those are all available under Module 1A, so you can do the readings, you can complete the focus questions, and there's a mini lecture about Cornell notes, so if you want to brush up on that one, just go back and watch the mini lecture again. Finally, I'd just like to say welcome to the class. I know this is a bit of a different way of receiving information, but we're learning together. It's an opportunity together. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much and have a great day.